All right, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday to you as we jump into this Friday Fusion call. What an awesome week it's been for a lot of you out there in the agency. Can't wait to go over some numbers on today's call and a cool update that I think you guys are going to love. So, jumping into today's call, we've got a lot planned for you. We're going to go over some sales leaders for last week, and you're also going to get to hear from an agent who had over a 10K week, and she's been doing huge things ever since she got started here. So, stay tuned to be able to hear from her. But jumping right into today's call, if you guys didn't get the email yesterday, make sure you check your inbox. Your production numbers should be in your email along with the monthly newsletter. But just a quick recap, what an awesome first month of the year we had in the month of January. I know so many of you are running to hit this Scotland trip, and you made a huge dent in that production requirement last month. So big shout out to you guys running for Scotland. There's the qualifications again for you. In case you missed them, this PDF is in Google Drive. Check it out. Only 135K for you and a plus one to go to Scotland. I know every single one of you guys can hit it. Our goal is to have to book the entire hotel as we take everybody there to Scotland. Big shout out to the award winners again, recapping the holiday party. Agent of the Year, Aaron. Rookie of the Year, Jody. T. Wade with the Freedom and Faith Award, and then Jenny with the Phoenix Award. So big shout out to you guys for claiming those awards this past year. All right, check out the sales leader. Let's give Jenna Huzzy a huge shout out in the WhatsApp chat as she took home Agent of the Month. But so many of you did big in the top three. We've got Jenna, Jody, and Kirk, followed up in the top five by Rebecca and Jennifer Garner. You guys all did phenomenal. If you found your name in this top 20, okay, way to work hard last month. Top builders, big shout out to the Bomb Squad for taking home #1 team last month. And big shout out to the Huzzy team too, as they're creeping their way up there, just doing big things. So phenomenal work to all the teams. I love seeing the team growth. There's Jenna claiming Agent of the Month last month. Super proud of you, Jenna. New carrier, guys. Baltimore Life is live. I know a lot of you have dove into them, but if you haven't checked them out yet, make sure that you do that because they have really cool underwriting. A lot of cool features with that final expense plan that could potentially make it or break it for you in that house, closing that deal and getting that sale. So make sure you do a deep dive into Baltimore Life if you haven't yet, but that carrier is now live and ready to go. Lead discounts are in here on the Lead Center. All right, if you want to scoop up some fresh leads going into next week, okay, there's a Valentine's Day discount that is starting today, February 14th. So make sure you go back in that PDF. The code is inside of there. And then again, the new offering for all of your clients, the Legacy Safeguard. If you missed that training, go into WhatsApp. You can type that in. Just type in Legacy or type in Safeguard. It was back in January that we did that training, but you can pull up that video on Google Drive and go over it if you missed it. But phenomenal way to be able to help your clients out with the free will, free planning. Everything's all encompassed inside of that, and it's totally free for them to become a member of that plan. So I know we preach of being able to help our clients and their families, right, on the worst day of their lives. This new offering really brings that full circle for them. Everything will be done, planned, set aside, right? They don't have to go do attorneys, all this other crazy stuff. They can get it all set up here with this Legacy Safeguard plan. So just a quick recap for you guys. Something I'm super excited about to talk to you guys is the Wells of Life. So Alicia and I have really been thinking about how can we as a company do more this year as far as giving back and just being able to use what God has given us as an agency to bless other people. And so that's one of our big missions this year. And thanks to you guys, all right, we are going to be able to, as a company, donate a well all right, to the people of Uganda. So this Wells of Life Foundation, it started years ago, but their whole mission is to be able to bring clean water to the people of that country. Check it out. Over 51% of people there do not have access to clean water. So kids, the elderly, just regular, mom and dads, they don't have access to clean water, which leads to getting sick, a lot of hospital visits, a lot of children passing away for things that could have been prevented if they had clean water. And we came up with this idea because our church actually donated a well to them. And I saw the picture of it. I'm like, wow, that's a cool idea. So big shout out to you guys as an agency. None of this would be possible if it wasn't for you guys here at FFA working hard. And so give yourselves a pat on the back, because it's because of your hard work that we're going to be able to do that as a company and be able to get a well donated to a community out there that really needs it. So I'll share more with that with you guys as the process takes shape. But I wanted to share that with you guys just to show you everything you do on the day-to-day. You might not realize it, but makes a huge difference to a lot of other people in the long run. So pretty cool update there for you guys. We're looking forward to partnering with that foundation and helping get that set up for a community out there. But without further ado, all right, I'm going to bring on an agent who had a 10K week. She's been on fire since she got started here. And I know a lot of you guys have been wanting to hear from her. So Becca, I'm adding you into the live feed. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing, honestly, I'm kind of congested, but at least I'm not sick anymore. So thank God for that one.
I know Dylan got sick, then he got you sick. It seems like it's going around. Like everybody in the agency has gotten sick over the past few weeks.
It is. I was kind of hoping that with him sleeping in the other room, I wouldn't get it, but he just likes to share everything, and that even means his sickness. So that's okay.
That's how it goes, right? Same with us in our house. One of us will get sick, then the other, then the kid. It takes like a month and a half before it finally goes away. But Becca, I'm super excited to have you on the call. Just because since you got started here, you have just been on fire with production, with momentum, everything that you have going. So give everybody an intro. Who is Becca and how did you find insurance?
Well, I'm Becca. Before I got into insurance, I actually used to be a teacher. I taught fifth grade and I taught in a private school with 2 and 3 year olds, and I loved what I did. I really did. However, teachers just don't get paid a whole lot of anything. And I remember I would be the first one into the school and the last one to leave the school. However, my paycheck was just always the same. And I remember I had something go wrong with my car and it was going to cost like $1,200. And I was like, I cannot afford to be a teacher and have a car at the same time. So I had to look at something else. And I looked at insurance. Insurance was just the first thing that I thought of. And the training was something that was very, very important to me. I said, I know I can work hard, and as long as there's a good training platform, I'll make it work. If I cannot make $2,000 in sales, I'm just going to give up in life. I don't even know what else to do anymore. So I kind of had to go all in. I didn't really have a choice.
That's a huge step. What was that like going from having an established job, W-2 job as a teacher, something that you went to school for, to just giving that up and then jumping into like a commission-based only role?
Honestly, I think it was easier for me than a lot of people, but that's because I just did everything I was told to do without asking questions. I had seen other people be successful and I just had to work harder. I had to do it a lot more in a condensed amount of time, because whenever I started, it was in the winter months where it's not sunshiny all day long. I had to give my 3 to 5 presentations in a shorter amount of time because the sun came up later and went down earlier. It was easier for me, but that's because I only had a plan A. I didn't give myself the opportunity to have a plan B.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So let me ask you this, Becca. So you go door to door, right? In the field?
I do.
So a lot of especially female agents or potential agents that are looking at this industry, as soon as they hear that, they're like, I could never do that. But you've done it and you've done it very successfully. So give an agent that's thinking maybe about doing the field sales versus the phone sales, or even a potential agent where maybe that's like their hiccup of they don't know if they can go door to door. Give them an idea of like, how are you able to do that?
I think I've got too much of a personality to sit behind a phone. I really love going and meeting my clients face to face. So that way, whenever they call, I know who they are, but they also know who I am. You know, being able to see their kids and grandkids. Sometimes the family walks in while I'm there, and that just makes it easier. So I introduce myself to them. Sometimes it leads to another application, right? But those people, our seniors get phone calls all the time. Even when I'm sitting down there with them, they're getting phone calls and they answer it and hang up, answer it and hang up. And I just know that there's people out there that are not getting serviced over the phone because I see them hanging up the people on the phone, right? And these people are seniors. They like the face-to-face interaction. They know there's a lot of scams out there, but whenever you see them face-to-face and show them your license, you know, that kind of helps build that credibility with yourself.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm very similar. I don't know, like the phones definitely work for me, but I'm kind of the same way. I just like talking to people, you know, going door to door and doing that. So have you ever going door to door, have you ever noticed that people are mean to you at the door, or is everybody nice? Like, give an idea. Like, what can an agent going and knocking on a door?
Honestly, most of the people are nice, but there's just sometimes when people are having a bad day or they're just grumpy. I mean, I've got stories for days of people not being very kind, but I refuse to take it personally because they don't know who I am, right? They're not saying no to Becca. They're just saying no to some random person that came up to their door, right? And so I don't take that personally. They're just having a bad day. If it's a lead, I'll go back and try them later, maybe on a sunny day. Maybe they'll be having a better day on when the sun's out instead of it being gloomy. But there are some mean people, yes.
That's such a good tip, not to take it personal. I think that's one of the biggest hurdles for agents is they get too emotional with it. You know, it's just like you said, it's not that the client doesn't like you. They're just busy, sick. They don't know who you are, you know, but on average, most people are receptive and nice. So Becca, one thing that's very interesting about your story is your husband actually is working alongside of you. So me and Alicia can relate to that. There's a lot of couples here in the agency that can relate to that. But what's it like for your spouse to be in this industry with you?
Honestly, I love it. I love it now that he's been here for a few years. And I really love working with him. Like whenever we go out in the car at the same time, I love those. As long as Dylan doesn't drive, we're good to go. And it's because we complement each other well in the house. So we divide and conquer. Sometimes Dylan will relate to the guys a little bit more, or I'll relate to the ladies a little bit more, or vice versa. Sometimes because he's more the quiet side, I'm more of the extrovert in the house sometimes. And so, or I'll see Dylan relating to somebody. I'll be like, hey, go talk to them. Because sometimes he doesn't realize that, but I do. And so we use each other's strengths in the house. But also, Dylan's good at a lot of things. He is like the most nicest competitive person, but I really love sales because it levels out the playing field. This is something that I'm good at as well. And so it definitely brings a little competition at home. So that's super fun.
That's awesome. So who's usually the winner between you and Dylan each week?
Definitely me. Definitely
You?
me.
Okay. Give him the little edge to go out there and hustle a little bit extra hard this week, right? So, well, what got Dylan into this, right? So you were doing it first. Did he just see your success and think, okay, I want to do that too? Or did you end up talking him into it? How'd that go about?
I had tried for a long time. Oh, my thing's about to go off.
This is a reminder.
Alexa reminds me to read. Hold on a second.
This is a reminder. Time to read.
Okay.
How it is at my house back then. My 8-year-old plays Alexa music all the time, and there's no telling what kind of music will show up. It'll be rap music. You never know. So one day Woodward start hearing stuff go blaring across our house.
That's funny. So how did Dylan get, oh, okay. So I tried for a long time. I was like, Dylan, you should come and do this. Like, it's fun. You'll do great. And he was like, no, 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 no. And eventually I quit trying. I was like, Dylan, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it on your own time. And that's what happened. Eventually he just wanted to do it because he saw how well I was doing the system, and he just wanted to come in and join with me. And I think that made it easier on our relationship without me nagging for him to come and do it. It had maybe it's the guy thing. I don't know. Whenever it had to be his idea, that's whenever he became on board. But I'm glad he did because he is good at what he does. So
that's awesome. You guys are definitely a power couple for sure. So let me ask you this, Becca. You've been in the industry for a few years now, but just recently here at FFA, and I know you kind of were shopping companies around different things, but what led you to work with Freedom and Faith?
Absolutely. So the number one thing that I was looking for, I guess, was I really love the biblical teachings. That was something that I was really interested in because I remember calling Alicia and I was like, how do y'all do that? Like, what does that even mean? Like, how do you guys even do that? And it's not overwhelming amount, but it's like the foundation. It's where you guys begin to teach. I don't know how to describe it, but that was something that really interested me. And then also the second thing was to have you and Alicia both going in the same direction. It's not just you pulling the wagon and going forward, or it's not just Alicia. It's you guys are like the queen or king of power couples, right? Because you guys are both going in the same direction. And I remember asking, what are your all's goals for the organization? Where do you guys want to go, right? If you're familiar with John Maxwell, I guess you could say I bought in to where you guys want it to go and how you want it to get.
You just said that, Becca.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's funny every time you send those pictures. I was like, read that one today. But that was something that was important to me, to have the male and the female, because I wasn't making decisions just for me, right? Because I was making decisions for me and Dylan. What I need is different than what Dylan needs, but also our future agents, I know, will appreciate that as well.
For sure. No, I love that. We're grateful to have you guys here working alongside of us. It's funny, when we started the company and we thought about how do we make it Christian based and how do we put those principles in this without being overwhelming, that's probably like the biggest hurdle for us, is how do you have that foundation but not make it look like you're just using that, like to preach something. So, but yeah, I love that. I think the culture here is just, it's different in the sense of, even though it's a bigger company, it's really all just a family at the end of the day. You see in the WhatsApp chat, everybody knows each other. Everyone's cutting up with each other. When we went to the holiday party, there was a ton of people that had never even met each other, but everybody felt like they all knew each other already because the chat and the calls and stuff. So I love that. Now let's talk about this. You had a $10,000 week, which is just a milestone so many agents want to hit. But there's a lot that have not hit that yet. So what goes into having a 10K week?
Absolutely. I would say your schedule is so important. I would say the way I start my morning is the way I handle my whole day. If my morning starts terrible, my day ends up being not what I want it to be. So making sure that I'm up early, I'm getting dressed, everything basically ready by the morning call. And that's because I'm an hour early. So it's still only 8 o'clock here, but I make sure I'm ready by the morning call. So that way I can go and hit the field, right? And I really loved, I don't remember who was talking or what call it was, but not checking back office in the morning, like right when I'm waking up, and doing it in middle of the day has been phenomenal. Whoever came up with that idea, I really like that one, because you get stuck trying to do all these phone calls and in the morning, and it just slows down my morning instead of speeding it up. And then also going back to the basics. So I like giving 3 to 5 presentations every single day. I really like the short presentation because you can get in and out quick, right? Yeah. and also making sure that I was doing thorough policy reviews. I remember there was one guy that week where it looked like he had a good policy, right? But then I went to the health questions and I realized that the health questions were not marked correctly for him. So making sure that you're doing those thorough policy reviews and not giving up when you've had a bad day. I remember there were some days where I wouldn't even post numbers until like 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. That means for the first 5 to 6 hours, I was getting zeros, I was getting no's, but making sure I stuck to my schedule and staying out there until I got something right. I would say those are some key tips for a 10K week.
Those are such good tips, especially that one about staying out there. Like I can attest to that. You and Dylan in your call to close thread, texting, you know, like this client did this client did that. But the one thing I loved watching you guys and how you work is neither one of you stop until you end up putting something on the board, whether it's at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 6 o'clock at night. I always know something's coming down the pipeline when you guys are out there for not giving up. So let's talk about that. A lot of agents, Becca, they have trouble pushing themselves to that point. You know, like they might get told no 3 times and then think, well, I'm going to attack it tomorrow instead of go to number 4. So what's like your driving force to not stop early?
Honestly, I've got like a personal force right now. I'm trying to prove people wrong. But anywho, I can't, just like I can't take the no's personally at the door, I can't take no's personally at the close. If it's closable and you're not closing it, that's when I would call. I mean, I'm still doing it. I'll call Alicia to recap what happened in the house. And if there's something that I could have been doing differently, I'm calling so that way the next house, if I run into that same situation, I know how to better handle it. I'm still doing that. And I've been here for 5 years now, you know, and it's just a refresher is never bad, but just making sure that you're just going. So like not taking it personally, because there's some people that you just can't help. Like I ran into a lot of sick people recently that already have coverage. You know, it's not ethical to replace those. If they want to add on, here to help them do that. But I ethically will not replace what they already have. Or this lady I had the other day, her budget was like a strict $125. She physically could not go over that. And what she had was just what she had. And there's just sometimes where it just doesn't make sense. And so you've got to keep going. There's somebody out there looking for what you have. And you just have to give yourself enough shots on glass to find those people that are looking for you.
That's so true. It's not about selling everybody. It's just about finding the 1 or 2 a day, you know, that need your help. It was funny. I know when you were texting over some of your health sheets that you were running into, I'm like, are you guys working in a hospital? Like where are you running into all these people? One after the other was sick. Like it must be something in the water, but I love that. So Becca, let me ask you this. So what is your 2025 goal? I know you're a high individual writer. I know you're great at team building too, but like, what is the goal for you that you set for yourself this year?
So I've got a few like personal goals. One of my goals is I want to hit $20,000 a month in income, and I'm going to do that twice. So because I want to make it not look like an accident. So I want to do it twice to make sure that I know what I'm doing. But I also want to hit $160,000 net of my personal production. I know I've done it before, and so I want to do it again. And then I also want to hire 5 new agents because I know how this business and how this industry has impacted my life directly. I know how it's impacted Dylan's life. And I just want to help 5 new agents, introduce them to the industry.
Love those goals. Those are such, I like how you said, so it's not an accident. I like that to be able to hit it back to back, to do that. 5 new agents. That's awesome. So if anyone's watching this, Becca, and they want to reach out to you to work alongside of you, where can they reach you at?
I would say Facebook and Instagram are probably the 2 best ways to get a hold of me. Becca Alderson. Most of them, that's what my handles are, but those are the 2 best ways to get a hold of me.
Facebook, Instagram, love it. And then to close us up, Becca, what's your favorite Bible verse?
That's hard. I don't know if the one that I picked out, I don't know if it's a favorite, but it's definitely my theme for this year, I guess you could say. Proverbs 16:9, I think. Don't quote me. I'm not like the best read.
Hey, I'm not. People make fun of me because I can never remember the verse. I just know the concept of what it says.
Yeah. And it's something along the lines of like, whatever you have the plan on your heart, but the Lord guides your steps.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like it because God put whatever it is on my heart. You know, like I didn't come up with that. God came up with it for me, and He's going to help me accomplish whatever it is. And so that's kind of my theme for this year because like in the beginning, coming to FFA, I had to pray a lot about it. I didn't really know if I was making the right choice or not, but God put it on my heart, right? And so He's also the one that's guiding me every step of the way. So that's my theme for this year, Proverbs 16:9.
Love that. That's one of my favorite ones too. That's kind of the whole foundation for this company when it got started was we have a vision. It's on our heart. No idea how to complete it or do it, but we just keep walking one step at a time. So that's awesome, Becca. Well, I appreciate you for jumping on here today. Hats off to you on having a huge week, over 10K. And Dylan, now question, who's on track to win this week, Becca?
Oh my gosh. I was hoping you would not say anything. This is probably, Dylan's outriding me this week and I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know how to feel about it.
I had to throw that in there. I had to give Dylan some street credit.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I'm going to freaking go out and have a 3K day, 4K day, and I'll come back the winner. Don't worry. Stay tuned.
There you go. Well, I might have jinxed you, Dylan. So when you listen to this, forgive me if Becca comes back and beats you this week. But Becca, super great job to you. Super proud of you. And we're grateful to have you here working alongside of us. So guys, again, if you want to reach out to Becca, Facebook or Instagram, that is all we have for you today. So let's go finish this week strong. We got today and tomorrow to wrap up this week, and we'll be back here on Monday. Thanks again, Becca.
Thank you.